In the name of Amen, the Supreme, the All-Powerful, the one and only true Lord, in Amen we trust, as the Republican Mentellect, the real 144,000 is being gathered in this day and time, the intellectuals. Menzeka, I mean, to all of my intellectual brothers and sisters out here, registered members of the Republican Mentellect, and to all future intellectuals who have yet to find their way home to Republican Mentellect, which is Amen's community. I send greetings out to you, and I send peace out to you in our Mentellect language by saying to you, Menzeka, I mean, good evening, I'm your host, the intellectual NUBEN MENKARAYZZ, and this is Mentellect Radio, and tonight we're going to be discussing the reality of Mentellect and why YouTube removes Mentellect videos. Very interesting. You can find every type of, every sort of content on YouTube. You can find all sorts of content on YouTube from the, I can't even start naming categories because you can pretty much find anything on YouTube. Racist stuff, sexist stuff, a little bit of everything you can find on YouTube. White supremacist stuff, black supremacist stuff. You can find everything on YouTube. The Israelites, everybody stating their facts or stating what they believe to be the facts. Yet when it comes to Mentellect and a platform for us, whereas all I've done is state logical, rational reality. Logical, rational reality, right? I didn't give any my beliefs because I don't have any beliefs. I didn't give my opinion because I don't have any opinion. I gave the logical, rational, thinking person, anybody who can think just a little bit, can see the reality in my words, the things that come through this message of Mentellect. I don't care what race you are. I don't care what race you are. Anybody can see it who has a thinking mind, a thinking, a functioning brain, can see the logic in what it is that I'm putting forward through Mentellect. And that's the problem. That is the problem within itself. See, as long as push beliefs, ideologies and beliefs, or so-called beliefs, as long as you push beliefs on YouTube, see, beliefs can always be refuted. A belief can always be refuted by somebody else's belief, right? Someone's concept, right, can always be refuted. You can always discard that. But what happens when you have a so-called black man, a bronze man, giving logical and rational, thought-provoking intelligence? What happens when he's sharing that with the world, not just with black people, but with the world? Because everybody's welcome to listen to my broadcast, even though the broadcast is really just for the bright race, even though it's just for the bright race. And I've said that many times. In a disclaimer, I said, my teaching is not black supremacist teaching. My teaching is not pro-black or anti-white. I am pro-bright, pro-intelligence, pro-advanced thinking, pro-logical thinking. And if some of that comes off as sounding racist, if it comes off as sounding sexist, if it comes off as sounding, I don't know, some people might throw homophobic in there, which is none of the above, I can't help that. People can label anything they want to, but when you get down to the nuts and bolts of it, the logic and the rationale of it, Mentellect can't be touched. Mentellect can't be taken apart. People have tried. People have basically fallen to calling me all kinds of names and talking about my personal life and things like that. Why? Because they can't dispute Mentellect. Because they can't dispute Mentellect, because Mentellect is not a doctrine. Mentellect is not a belief system. Mentellect is not a religion. It is purely just what it is. It is a logical and rational level of higher intelligence, extended thinking. It involves extended thinking, and many people cannot do that. They don't have that ability to do that. And I'm just saying everybody, the mass majority, black, white, and everything in between. Because again, this is not a knowledge, this is not an intel that comes from man. It doesn't come from man. It doesn't come from man or mankind. It does not come from modern man. This is future intelligence for an advanced race of beings that I've been channeling, who are known as the Amen, who are the true creators of this planet and human life and everything in existence, the Amen. I am channeling from them, which I am a descendant of them. And this is what I've been teaching. Now, nobody has ever come on here and debunked or tried to challenge me. Yet it's funny how they'll sit up here and listen. I've had Caucasian people come up here. I've had black people come up here. I've had all kinds of races of people come up here and attempt to challenge me in the past, and they've always got the mental stuff and beat out of them. They got the mental stuff and beat out of them by me just applying logic and rationale and asking intelligent, thought-provoking questions. If you're going to question me, I've always answered logically and rationally, no matter how far out it seemed. But no matter how far out things, my answers seemed, they were always logical and rational if you thought about it. Because I've always walked people through my thought process. I've always walked people through the reality of why I came to this conclusion. And once I explain myself, which I always do, I leave people speechless. I tend to do that. Those of you who heard my broadcast, I tend to leave a lot of people speechless because they're asking, where are you getting this from? Where's this coming from? Where are you getting this from? I said, from the future, from the Amen, from the creators, from those who projected and created everything in existence here in this world that we live in. I get it from them. They give me the advanced knowledge to guide and elect or chosen people forward into the future. That's why I get this. And they'll say, oh, that's BS, that's whatever, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you're right, you're just making this up in your head. I said, okay, well, if you thought I was making it up in my head, then why'd you ask where am I getting this from? Because if the answer was I'm making it up in my head, then you wouldn't have asked me where is it coming from. You would have been like, oh, you just made it up. But the first thing you always ask people when they say something that you're not used to hearing, first thing people will say is, where did you get this from? That's the first thing they ask. Where did you get this from? So what they're saying when they're asking, where did you get this from, they're acknowledging that it did not come from you. It had to come from someplace else. Where did you hear this from? Where did you read this from? Where can I study this? So it's not good enough that it came through me, right? It had to come from somebody else. And usually when they say somebody else, usually they mean somebody white or somebody so-called black who was studying from some Caucasians or some East Indians or somebody else. That's what they want to hear. But they'll never ask those people where they got that from. They'll just assume they went somewhere and dug up something. But there's nothing to dig up. There's nothing to dig up in Mentellect. There's nothing to study in Mentellect. See, that's the problem. There's nothing to dig up. There's nothing to study. There's nothing to research at all. All it requires is that you think. This knowledge of Mentellect, this intelligence of Mentellect is based on thinking. It's not based on research. It's not based on belief. It's not based on any of that. It's based on thinking. If you can't think, then you can't acknowledge. You can't comprehend, for lack of a better word. You can't comprehend Mentellect if you can't think. Mentellect requires you to think. And the people, the powers that be that govern the society, this governmental society, notice what I just said now, this governmental society, think about what's being said when the word governmental is said. Governmental, control of the mind. And a society that is fixed on controlling the minds of the people, the very thing they do not want you to do is to think. They don't want you to think because that shatters the illusion of everything that they are constantly working to keep in place. They want to keep the illusion going in this three-dimensional realm. And when you start thinking, if NUBEN MENKARAYZZ gets enough people thinking, then it starts to shatter the illusion of this three-dimensional realm or this three-dimensional world they keep going. So, of course, they don't want to give a platform to a NUBEN MENKARAYZZ because they think, where did this guy come from? Who is this guy? What is this stuff he's saying? Where's this stuff coming from? Somebody debunked that. Somebody challenged that. Somebody, it's a cult. He's a cult leader. That's all. He's just a cult leader. Right? He's just making up things as he goes along, right? Well, if that was the case, I must have a very, very, very active imagination to put out over almost 2,000 broadcasts and continue going. I must have a hell of an imagination. And then put out things that make logical sense. How do you think up things that make logical sense? See, that's the difference between belief. Logic can't be made up. Belief can be made up all day because you can always make up anything and then people can poke holes in it later. People can question it later. People can challenge it later. And of course, beliefs never stand up to questioning, up to critical thinking or critical questioning. It never stands up. But logic never falls down. See, Mentellect can stand the test of time now or 50 years from now. Everything I said, if somebody was, it was a capsule and they heard these teachings of Mentellect 50, 60 years ago, it could stand up because it's based in logic. Logic is the only thing that cannot fall down. Logic is the only thing that cannot be challenged. Logic is not something that you need somebody to co-sign on or need somebody, or where does it say that at, brother? Where's your proof, brother? That's the people who believe things. The people who talk like that, who ask them for proof, those are the people who believe things. They need somebody else to give them the, what's the word I want to say? They need somebody else to what's the word I want to say? They need somebody else to co-sign, right? So what that means is if the white man or somebody else says, well, but that guy saying the Mentellect is right, then you're going to accept it as reality without even thinking about it? Because it wasn't based on anybody having to accept anything or believe anything. I just said just think about it. That's all. Think about what I said. Don't believe what I'm saying. Think about what's being said. Can you logically and rationally think about what's being said? What's being conveyed to you? Can you do that? Yeah, they're looking for somebody to confirm or to validate. That's all. They're looking for somebody to confirm or to validate. That's all. And this doesn't need confirmation. Mentellect doesn't need confirmation. Mentellect doesn't need validation. That bothers them. That bothers them. See, because they could put the Israelites up there, and the Israelites talk all kind of crazy stuff about white people and y'all going into slavery and, and this, that, and the third. Yet you see all the Israelites, their channels are still up. See, because somebody could always come along and refute that. Somebody could always come along and debunk what the Israelites say. I could take their whole doctrine apart in 10 minutes. I could take apart the whole Israelite doctrine in 10 minutes. I could take apart Islam in 10 minutes. I could take apart Christianity in less than 5 minutes. Logically. Not on no belief, not on no hate, but logically. I could take all of their stuff apart in 5 minutes. And you could count it. Just by asking certain questions that will collapse the foundation of everything they teach. I could do it. You see, I have kind of in the past, if I was going to do broadcasts where I was just going to take apart. I think I took apart a lot of the Israelite stuff. I could take apart Christianity. I've been taking that apart bit by bit. You see, I've never did full-on things. You see? And that bothers them that a so-called black man, a bronze man, has the command of logic and rationale. That's not going off of belief. That's not going off of emotion. That's not going off of any philosophy that comes from them. See, that bothers them. They don't want people thinking in this society. They don't. That's really why my videos get removed from YouTube. It makes people think. It makes people refocus. It makes people reassess what they once believed. It makes people start thinking. And they don't want that. They don't want you to start thinking. Because to think means that you're altering things. When you start to think in a governed mental system, you start to alter things. You understand? You start to alter things. And then when the logic can't be challenged, because Mentellect can stand up against anybody. I challenge white scientists, black scientists, some of the most learned people on the earth to challenge what I'm saying and what I've said in Mentellect, to break it down, debunk it. I challenge them to come out and do it on many occasions. Nobody ever took it. How long I've been on the air? I've been on the air about 6-7 years now. Doing broadcast after broadcast after broadcast, and nobody has come to refute or debunk what I said. Logically. I'm not talking about coming up here calling me names and talking about my personal life and where you get this. I'm talking about logically, let's stick with Mentellect and what I teach. Logically. They can't do it. You see? They cannot do it. Nobody can. But that bothers them. They will never admit that this society is based on mind control. Will they ever tell you that government It's short for governmental, which means controlling the mind. They have to control the minds of the people. And how do you control the minds of the people? By way of belief. That's why they don't mind putting up religious stuff. They don't mind putting up the Israelites. They could put up the Israelites. They could put up the Christians, the Muslims, everybody, they could put up any and everybody but Mentellect. Because Mentellect is a whole other path. Mentellect is a whole other direction, a whole other path. You see, they don't want that. 8 years and counting. And I'm still doing videos. Now they just realizing in the 8th year, now all of a sudden they want to start getting rid of whole channels and whatnot, all channels getting taken down, all videos. And I'm like, these are channels and videos. Well, I haven't said anything racist against people. Because in the beginning I said some raw and uncut things, but I haven't said anything that nobody else, people say are far worse than me. So I said, okay, well, I'm going to make a conscious effort not to speak on nobody making any kind of racial slurs or homosexual slurs. And I'm going to make sure I don't use none of these words. And I'm going to just see if YouTube would allow me to put these videos up. If they would allow me to put up these videos, as a matter of fact, I'm going to tell my people to put up another Mentellect channel and just put up all the new stuff that I got. Just start all these channels and put up the new stuff. Watch, they're going to still flag the videos. And I'm not cursing nobody out. I haven't been cursing. I haven't said anything crazy about nobody. I haven't called anybody any names. And I've been doing this for the last couple of months, and they still took down the channel. So what does that tell you? I've gave the most PG-rated Mentellect broadcast, no real raw and uncut. I've given the most PG or G-rated, might well say G-rated Mentellect broadcast that you've ever heard. So why are they flagged? Why are they still taking the channels down? What does that tell you? What does that tell you? With no explanation. See? What does that tell you? They don't want you thinking. Because, at one point I thought it was the ex-members who was doing that. They were flagged because, niggas are, they get mad at something. They get emotional. They mad because they can't be a part of it anymore, and they just can't move on. So they want to flag videos. They want to be black devils and whatnot. It's useless even talking. But now it's bigger than just them. It's bigger than just them. You see? Right? They know what they're doing. And this was a new one. They remove them. Like I said, they remove them as soon as we put one up. They remove them. You see? You see what I'm saying? They do this. You see, that's what they do. They got the ex people. See, that's why I let you know. That's why I said the black race and the white race, they go hand in hand. Because if it started out probably being, the ex-members who were sending messages to YouTube to watch this Mentellect channel, this person's trying to incite violence, and when they probably did all kinds of stuff like that, the black devils, you know what I'm saying? Like Patricia and the rest of them demons, just a bunch of black devils. You know what I'm saying? Tisha and the rest of them demons. Because like I said, that just goes to show you that it's all the same thing. We're going to still get the message out regardless, whether it's on YouTube or not. It's still going to go out. But I'll let you know that this is serious. This is serious. This is real. This is the next step in our evolution. And as you can see, people want to stand in the way of our evolution because, again, we're not hurting nobody. I haven't advocated no violence toward anybody. I haven't advocated no violence toward anybody. I haven't advocated anybody being harmed. I haven't said any racial slurs to anybody. Why are they taking the videos down? Why are they taking the videos down? You see? See? That just goes to show you. That just goes to show you that, again, people are against our evolution. Even black people, right, are against our evolution. They are against our evolution. Black and white are against the bright evolution. They are against that. You see, I could have been up here talking about black power this and white man's devil and this and that, white, and they wouldn't have said nothing about that. See, because it still involves Caucasians. It still involves them, some emotional, illogical, irrational way of thinking. And because I don't do that, because I'm not part of that, because I'm not part of that whole mindset of, slandering and tearing down people and, and just doing it just to be doing it. I'm doing something that's real about the raising of the minds of our people. And that seems to be a problem. Why is that a problem? Answer, because again, the beast, they control all of these belief systems out here. They control the religion, the philosophy. They control all that. The minute you don't want to be in alignment with that, you could be anything from a Christian to a Muslim to an Israelite to a metaphysician to an atheist. That's pretty much all the things they control in the society. The beast controls. So you can be any one of those things. Right? The minute you start being something beyond that, the minute you start thinking for yourself, that's a problem. The minute you start coining your own level of intelligence for your people to think on, that's a problem. What are you doing? But you don't want to be black no more? You don't want to fit into the black thing no more? You don't want to be black no more. You don't want to fit into the black thing no more. You don't want your people to be black no more. I said, no. I said, I don't want a segment of our people who are not meant to be black people to, give our people a mental outlet. We need that mental outlet. For the rest of the black race, that's fine. I said, y'all got, you elites, you can have your niggas. The elites, you can have your niggas. Because we ain't out here for the black race. I told you that. I'm here for the white race. You can have your niggas. You can have the black people. You can have the black female who want to swirl with the white man. You can have the black male who want to be an Uncle Tom or whatever he's into. You can have them. I'm not here for them. I'm not talking to them. I'm talking to our people who want to think outside the box, who want to evolve together collectively. You understand? That's all. That's all. We're not here for nothing else. We're not here to incite no violence, no riots. We ain't here to try to upset nothing. We're not here for that. We're here for the evolution of ourselves and the raising of ourselves, and it does not include anything that y'all talking about. Simple as that. Now, obviously, that bothers YouTube. And here's the funny thing about it. I don't even have a lot of views. We don't even get a lot of views on YouTube. We lucky if we get, like a couple of thousand views, if that. So again, where's the threat at? Where's the threat? Black people, this Mentellect ain't even popular with black people. It's not. But obviously, just a few people that this message gets out to, it bothers them. It bothers these people that run YouTube. It bothers them. Just a few people that it gets out to. We ain't supposed, what we doing thinking for ourselves? How dare we think for ourselves? How dare we? That's a form of mental racism. This is what they telling you. They really are mental racists. This is what your YouTube are really mental racists. You understand? They're mental racists. That's what the people that run YouTube are. They're mental racists. Because we're not allowed to think for ourselves or get content that is geared toward our way of thinking, which is Mentellect channel. Because again, if people don't want to watch the video, they just don't watch the video. Just don't watch the video. If you don't want to see the video, you don't like what I say, then don't watch the video. How simple is that? That's all. I would have paid money just to get a YouTube channel on YouTube. I would have just paid money for it. I would have paid money for a YouTube channel on YouTube, just if they would have let us, and not even ask for no monetization, just to get the message out. Obviously, they don't want that to happen. You know why? Because they recognize the power in the message of Mentellect. See, the white man, they recognize the power in this teaching long before you so-called black people did. They recognize the power in this teaching because they've never heard a bronze man speaking clearly, confidently, and logically at the same time. They've never heard that. They've always heard some kind of emotion, some anger, white man is the devil, or whitey this and whitey that, and we hate the white people. They don't hear that in Mentellect. They've come to expect that from you so-called black people who supposed to got some, axe to grind with the white man. We ain't thinking about that. We ain't got no axe to grind with white people at all. We moving on. That's what we want to do. We want to move on. Same way we want to move on from black people. We want to move on from white as well. Same way. That's all. We want a message that is all about the evolution of our people, and that's Mentellect. Because we didn't set everything else. We done been, back and forth with this black and white thing. We tired of this, man. We tired of this. And this message is raising an elect or a chosen few. It is doing that. And people got an issue with that. They rather still keep waddling in the muck and the mire of black and white. Oh, you white people this, you black people this. We ain't with none of that. We about the bright race, man. We about the bright race. That's it. We don't hate nobody. We don't dislike anybody. We say let natural intelligence take its course. Let natural intelligence take its course. Let Amen raise the elect, the chosen who's supposed to be raised. Obviously, they got a problem with that. Now, if I was up here talking about Jesus Christ is love and Christ is love and Christ is this and whatever, they wouldn't have had no problem with that. If I would have had an image of white Jesus up and Christ is love, nobody would have had an image of it. Nobody would have had a problem with that. I did a broadcast on Jesus Christ. They made sure they took that video. I didn't curse at nobody. I didn't say nothing. All I did was state the reality, the factual reality of what takes place in the churches. That's all I did. That video got took down. Now, you can go to any other thing on YouTube and you can hear them talking about with the Catholic priests and the Catholic Church. Do you hear about all that? And the Jewish conspiracies and stuff like that? You can hear about all that on other channels. Why are those channels not took down? Why are those channels not took down? You see? But then that's not even the foundation of Mentellect. Talking about people is not the foundation of Mentellect. The foundation of Mentellect is just our advanced thinking. We look to a bigger picture in everything. We look to an extended picture in everything. We look past the things that people try to get us to focus on as we are moving through this incomplete atmosphere, this incomplete setup, this incomplete environment. We are looking to the bigger picture of everything. And see, they don't want you to do that. They want you to stay focused on, oh, this black kid got shot over here by the police today, or oh, this happened over here, and racial. We got enough black people focusing on the racial stuff. We ain't focusing on that because we know it's useless to do that. Because we realize that until our people make a change, until we evolve, that's the only way these things are going to go away. And since black people are not set to evolve, then they're going to keep having these problems with Caucasians. They're going to keep being a racial thing because black people don't want to move forward. They don't. They don't want to evolve. They don't want to move forward. You see, that's what it is. And they see a teaching that is all about moving the chosen ones of our people, the elect of our people, and that just bothers them. That even bothers them, even if it's a small number of so-called black people that move forward, that advance onto a way of thinking, that bothers them. Even if it's a small group of black people, that bothers them. You see? Because they think, oh, if that person can influence, if he can influence one, he can influence many to not think on this level anymore. And then, he's pulling the foundation out from the whole white racial thing. Because see, as soon as black people stop caring about what white people think, as soon as they stop with this worrying about what white people are going to do and all this other stuff and start living freely and thinking above and beyond these people, then you're going to start to see these people and their edicts start to fade away gradually. See, because I told you before, you so-called black people, that the foundation of racism is you. The foundation of racism is based on you and your desire to be accepted by these people. I told you that. It's based on you. You keep racism going in this society, you so-called black people, because you still care about what white people think. You don't want to come together as a people. You still want to be ignorant. You still want to follow the ways of the beast. You still want to do these things. And this is why you keep going through what you're going through. You see? You don't want to move forward as a people. See, again, that bothers many, not just white people, but black people too, when we are moving forward as the bright race. That bothers people. That we figured out that, we are complacent and complicit in our own destruction in the society because we keep on feeding the circle of mass confusion in the society. We keep on feeding that. We keep going back and forth, following your gods, believing in your devils, all this nonsense. Our women want to lay with these other races of men. Our women want to have weaves on their head and look like white women. Our women want to follow this liberated mindset of the beast. Our men wanting to do all kinds of degeneracy. So again, black people feed this machine just as well as white people feed this machine. But there's going to be a segment of our people that are going to come out, the black race, that are no longer going to feed the machine. And we're not going to feed it. We're not going to feed it with our minds. We're not going to feed it with our minds. We're not going to feed it with our energy. We're not doing that no more. We're starting to move on mentally, and that bothers people. That bothers the people who run YouTube. Because what is YouTube other than a damn video channel? What is YouTube other than... Because now YouTube has become a prime source of videos. YouTube is pretty much a prime source of videos, which means the government has their hand in YouTube, of course. Of course the government has their hand in YouTube. They control what's being seen. That's not just some personal thing from YouTube. You see? The government got their hand in YouTube, just like they got their hand in Facebook. You see? They don't want certain people to have Facebook and YouTube and whatnot because they don't want people thinking. They don't want people being influenced. They want you to be controlled mentally by the message they put out. That's all. You're not free to think how you want to think in the society. As much as they claim you are, you almost got to do it under the damn cover. And when they catch you doing it, all of a sudden you a cult. All of a sudden you a cult when you want to think for yourself. You part of a cult because you don't want to follow the regimented way of thinking that they put out for you. Oh, you won't have to follow white Jesus. You got to be a Christian. You got to be a Muslim. Who the hell is it? That right there shows you racism, mental racism hasn't gone anywhere. Because see, the white man, he's free to believe whatever he want to believe. The white man and other man is free to believe whatever they want to believe. Nobody questions it. The minute we, as so-called black people, bronze people, start thinking for ourselves and thinking of how we want to think, that is independent of Caucasians, independent of all these people. As soon as we don't want our minds controlled by their foolishness or believing that we black people, that we came from Africa, some other nonsense they taught us, and when it means that we don't want to accept it, oh, we a problem now. We a problem. Mentellect is a problem because he ain't teaching that y'all black people. He ain't teaching that our skin is black. That's foolishness. He ain't teaching that we come from Africa. He ain't teaching that we supposed to be following Christianity and whatnot, or we supposed to be bowing down to white people, or that our women supposed to be with white men. All this nonsense. It's foolishness because he's not teaching that. That's a problem. He ain't a good slave. The intellectuals are not good slaves. You black people are good slaves. You good damn slaves. You good mental slaves. You'll say whatever you got to say for $1 or just for acceptance. We don't think that way. We don't want your dollar or we don't want your acceptance. We don't care what you think, black or white. And it gets them mad that they can't label us a black supremacist group because we ain't running with the black race neither. We don't give a goddamn about the black race neither. We don't give a damn about the white race, the black race, or the human race. We care about the almond race. We care about us. We're not for or against anybody. We pro us. We ain't anti nobody. We feel a problem. Us being pro us is a problem. Here it is. We not bothering nobody. What we think is not going to do anything for anybody tomorrow but us. But obviously, just us being pro us bothers them. Us being pro us, like, why is it that you guys, why do you think the way you do? Why do you care why we think the way we do? Why do you care? I don't care what y'all think. We don't care what y'all think. We don't care what black people think. We don't care what white people think. We don't care what nobody thinks. We're not here to care about what people think. We are only focused on how we think and the evolution of our thinking. That's it. That's all. And that still bothers people. And again, we're not even a big group in the world. We're not even big like that. We only got hundreds of thousands of people. We're not even like that. Hundreds of thousands of people is not going to be listening to. They're going to hear the message and whatnot. Some is going to just bounce right off their head, man. I haven't said anything that's anti-American. I haven't, because I'm not anti-American. I pay my taxes. I haven't said anything that was anti-American. Not anti-American. But obviously, it's anti-American for so-called black people to think. That's anti-American. I guess pro-American would be black people just believing whatever white people say and following whatever Caucasians say and basically, accepting what white people say because white people say so. We ain't with that. Not us. We ain't with following you just because you say so. We ain't with following you, period. And that goes for black people either. No, thank you. We got our own way of thinking. We got our own way of processing logic and rationale as it is given to us, the real way. We do this. We do the mental work. We think. Unfortunately, a lot of black people can't think. That's why I said Mentellect is not for black people. So how the hell are you going to call us a black supremacist group when we just said Mentellect is not for black people? That just shows the ignorance of you people out there who push that. You see, that's all. Mentellect is dangerous to those who do not advocate free thinking. And I say the people who are against free thinking, they are dangerous to the world, because greater ideas have come to this planet because you've had free thinkers, people who are open-minded. And so my thing is, you should be free to think whatever you want, as long as you're not harming anybody. As long as you're not harming anybody, as long as you're not invading anybody's personal space or putting your hands on anybody trying to harm anybody, then you should be able to believe or think whatever you want. I would support the rights of a Ku Klux Klan or a white supremacist to think and believe what he wants. As long as you don't put your hands on me, I don't give a damn what they think. You understand? I support anybody who has the courage to think or believe as they want to think and believe. You can think and believe. I don't argue people's beliefs and they thought. I don't do that. It's not for me to do that. I'm not interested in, nor do I care what people believe or think. You're free to believe and think how you want. But we think on another level, and that's just logic. We don't believe in anything. We think. We think. That's all we do is think. And we act on our collective thoughts together. We think on a higher level. We don't let ourselves fall into a belief as intellectuals. We don't allow ourselves to fall into anybody's belief system. We don't allow ourselves to fall into anybody's belief system or anybody's philosophical patterns. We don't allow ourselves to do that. For what? There's no point in that. You know? I support what anybody thinks or believes as long as you're not harming anybody. You know, I think it's wrong to try and subjugate or try to hold back or try to stop anybody from thinking how they want to think. And that's basically what YouTube is doing through this censorship. They're censoring my videos. They're censoring Mentellect videos. They're censoring Mentellect videos. They're taking down whole pages of Mentellect channel. Whole channel. As soon as we put up a broadcast, haven't said anything, they don't even need an excuse. They just take it down. They just take it down. You see? They don't even watch the videos. Just what anybody's saying. Like I said, I believe it was the ex-members that put them on to them black devils. But that just goes to show you, you black devils, you work hand in hand with the beast. That's why I said, with the hell with black people, man, because you got black people that will work hand in hand with the so-called white man to tear down what we're putting up, and you got so-called white people who don't care about, who just don't care about what we teach. They're like whatever, and they just keep it moving. That's like they just mind their business and live their life. So again, it's not even a all white people thing or all black people thing. This is people who are mentally disturbed on both ends, both black and white, who are demonically possessed, who are here to work against the mess. Because it was these so-called ex-members of mine, black-ass demons, they're the ones that put YouTube on. They're the ones that started flagging the videos instead of just going on with their life and living their life. The people who we wouldn't let back in the Republic, the people who got demons on them, the people who got mental issues, instead of just moving about their life and their business and whatnot, this is what they've chosen to do. Let me take a call. 504.
Hi, greetings, Brother Ruben. How are you?
How you doing?
Yeah, all right. Greetings. I have a question, big bro. The road to identifying the teachings, identifying myself as a human being, coming out of the inner box thinking, is not so much of an easy pill to swallow, and it should be. I understand from your lectures. When challenged, when you possibly could be just for language sakes at some of emotional struggle, where are your buffer and comfort zones to reach strengthen and road to identifying yourself, wanting to be an human being, the human race, and strong enough to identify with the Republic of Mentellect?
Wait a minute, sorry. I'm sorry. What was your question? I'm sorry. Say it one more time.
en route to identifying with becoming as I'm a being in infantile stages, and having a battle with the inner box mentality, still dealing with those that's on Canaris virus and all that kind of crazy stuff today. But for the most part, when I'm challenged, or even emotionally challenged, where do you recommend I find buffer zones or comforts to restrict as I'm a being? What do you recommend?
Join the Republican Mentellect. I tell everybody who hear this message, who say they're of Amen or they acknowledge that they are of the Amen race, to join the Republican Mentellect. That's where you're supposed to be. Ain't no outside people that's going. Once you hear this message and you bear witness to it, you're supposed to be here. You're supposed to be in here building the community and finding other beings who are of Amen to build our community. That's what we're here for, to extend ourselves and to raise ourselves. We're not interested in nothing that's going on here. We're not interested in black and white or the principalities that's going on, in this world. We're not interested. We're just here to find our people and live our life and build our community, our planetary community and whatnot amongst our people. Again, we don't have any problems with white people. We don't have any problem with black people. We don't care about none of that. We only care about extending ourselves, and that's it. You need to be here if you feel that you're really part of that.
Although I classify myself in elementary stages, just join and then for that to strengthen directly.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do if you bear witness that this message resonates with you and you are of the Amen race, then you're supposed to be a part of the Republican Mentellect.
I thank you for your strength, big bro.
All right. So, yeah, I tell everybody that those of you who want to be a part of the Republican Mentellect, who bear witness to this message, you write you a brief letter. Write your brief letter stating with your full name on there, your government name, stating why you want to be a part of the Republican Mentellect. Briefly, 1 page, not no 4 and 5 pages. We're not going to read that. 1 page, 1 brief page on why you want to be a member of the Republican Mentellect and what you bring to it. Medium-sized headshot photo of yourself and $25 money order left blank. Do not make the money order out. There's a reason why we tell people to leave it blank, is because we didn't set up a Mentellect account to put anything in yet. We will eventually. That's why I said I don't want people making out money orders to me and whatnot. Just leave it blank, postal, and just send it in to Republican Mentellect, P.O. Box 470553, Brooklyn, New York 11247. Again, that's Republican Mentellect, P.O. Box 470553, Brooklyn, New York 11247. That's how you do that. For those people who are serious. Because I don't take people serious who say they're of Amen. And again, we're about to start doing the work of finding our people in 2021 on a bigger scale, because it's time to find our people. It's time to raise the minds of our people going forward. And in this third part of the millennium that we're coming into. It's time. And again, we're not doing this from any emotional or illogical or any rhetorical mindset. We're not. We're just extending ourselves. That's all. All right. We're right back. We should be embracing the fact that we now have something that gives us the ability to think about something, right? We should be happy about that. We should be happy that we have something that gives us the ability to think about stuff as opposed to believing. We should be getting tired of going in circles. I'm saying so-called black people, the bright ones of our people. We should be tired of that. We should be tired of going in circles, same thing over and over again. So, if we are tired of going through these things over and over again, if we're tired of going in circles with these things over and over again, then we need to start doing that. We need something like Mentellect to raise us, mind, body, and soul. You see? We need to do something like this in a collective effort to move ourselves forward as a people. You see? We need to do that. We need a knowledge that's going to raise us mentally. We need a knowledge that's going to raise us mentally. We need a knowledge that's going to have us thinking on a higher level to stop us from being emotional and whatnot. Because that's all these so-called doctrines have done that we've given into as so-called black people. All they have done is basically stir us up emotionally and not mentally. It has not given us rise to start using our minds, right? You know, and start rationally thinking of ways to move ourselves past this situation we're in. You see? To move ourselves past the what we in. You see? We need to start thinking like that. We need to start thinking how we can move ourselves forward collectively. We need to start thinking of how we can move ourselves forward collectively. You know what I'm saying? That's what we need. Right? We need to move ourselves forward collectively, guide ourselves forward collectively, and make ourselves viable people as we're going forward. And we need a knowledge that will do that, a teaching that will do that. We keep hollering about supremacy this and supremacy that, right? Right? We want to keep on talking about that, and we're not seeing that in that we don't have a teaching that moves us past this emotional attachment with the beast. We don't have anything like that, but we should have that now. Right? We don't have anything to move us beyond that. Mentellect is the thing that will move us beyond this emotional attachment to misfortune. Mentellect is the only thing that's going to raise us mentally. And again, they don't want that with the so-called black race. They want just as many of you to stay black, because by you staying black, that means you stay dysfunctional. By you staying wrapped up in beliefs and the philosophies of the beast and the society, that keeps you at the bottom. That keeps you constantly on the receiving end, people putting their foot in your behinds mentally, academically, and everything else. But as soon as we break from that, and Mentellect represents that break. Mentellect represents that break when we don't care what y'all think. We're going to extend ourselves together collectively. We're going to move by the power of Amen. We're going to raise ourselves because we can actually see this happening for us. Again, they're not going to help or aid in getting that message out there. They showing you, because think about this. Here it is. I can understand if this was a teaching that was anti-white, that we were talking against white people, we were killing white people, or it was anti-black and we talking about hurting black people. We ain't talk like that. I done heard the damn Israelites talking about cutting off white people's heads and putting them in slavery. We never talk like that. You never heard NUBEN MENKARAYZZ say nothing like that. So why are they flagging the video and taking down our video? I haven't advocated no violence at all. You see? So what is the problem? What is the issue with what I teach? It's a greater danger because, again, it's representing change. Change, evolution is the scariest thing to take place for people who have locked their way into a certain way of thinking, who have lodged their minds into thinking a certain way, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, something comes that's going to bypass all that. You see? Something that comes along is going to bypass all that. You see? They worry about something that's going to come, that's going to ultimately bypass all that. So when you got something like that that's going to bypass everything, you got something like this that's going to bypass everything, that's going to bypass all of these ways of belief and whatnot in these philosophies by way of pure logic, then everything, like I say, it alters everything. It alters what the Caucasians was teaching, alters what black people have been teaching, it alters this whole out of Africa thing that they've been teaching. It alters all of that. Everything is getting altered, and they don't have no control over that. You see? It alters everything. Mentellect alters everything, and it alters everything logically. Because they don't want to, if you notice, they don't want to put up a video talking about debunking Mentellect. They'll talk about NUBEN MENKARAYZZ all day. Mentellect is way bigger than NUBEN MENKARAYZZ. Mentellect is bigger than me. right? This was always about Mentellect. It was never about me. You can talk about my personal life all you want to, but they want to make it about even that clown, Rick Ross, whatever his name is, even that clown Rick Ross, all he did was try to talk about my personal life. That's all. The little bit he wrote on Mentellect that he don't even know nothing about. That's all he tried to talk. He tried to focus on my personal life, the little bit that he know. And it's not much to focus on. I got a personal life, just like everybody got a personal life, but Mentellect ain't about that. Mentellect ain't about nobody's personal life. It's about the extension of our minds. It's about the extension of our lives. That's what it's about. It's about the evolution of us as a collective body of people. Obviously, certain people got a problem with that. Certain people got a problem with that, even though we're not up here advocating the death of white people. We ain't up here advocating the death of black people. We're not up here advocating the death of anybody. We just want to live. But that's a problem. Obviously, that's a problem because we don't want to live like slaves. We don't want to live like black people. No, thank you. That's a problem. And obviously, certain black people, certain niggas, I'm going to say like this, niggas got a problem with the fact that we don't want to act like black people no more. We don't want to live like black people no more. They got a problem with that. You see, that's what it is. And like I said, we tell them, you can keep your black people. We don't want your black people. You can keep your black people that you have. You can keep the black females that want to swirl and be a bed wench. You can keep them. You can keep your black bucks. You can keep your Uncle Toms. You can keep all you Negroes you got that you bought and paid for. You can keep all those fake YouTube personality niggas you got on YouTube that's supposedly opposition, what they really are controlled opposition. You can keep them. Nobody's trying to take them from y'all. Y'all can keep them. They belong to you. The black race belongs to you. These niggas belong to you. That's why they're going to always be against Mentellect. Even the ones that came in here, those niggas always belong to the white man. They belong to him because look where they returned to. They went right back amongst the white man and started spouting his philosophy about narcissism and all this other crap. They went right back amongst the white man and started spouting his philosophy. So they always belong to the beast. These niggas that came in here, they belong to the beast already. All they did was try to come in here and cause chaos and confusion to disrupt things instead of just leaving. But I'm not mad at that because they already belong to the beast. And that's why I say, through YouTube, we tell them you can keep your Negroes. We don't want them. We don't want them and we don't want y'all. If it takes us to get off YouTube, and goddamn it, we'll get off YouTube. We'll keep certain channels up and, get as many of the safe ones up as we can and rely on other affiliates. But we got other outlets and whatnot to get the videos out there. That YouTube ain't stopping nothing. Yeah, granted, it's a big platform, and that's what we were basically using it for, as a platform. But like I said, we got our own platform that's being set up right now. These videos are going to get out, and in 2021, the community is going to grow because of the mental outreach program that we're doing. We're about to do the mental outreach for the extension of the Republican Mentellect, 2021 going forward. A lot of things coming in 2021. You see, this message is of Amen, and nobody's going to stop this message of Amen. Nobody's going to stop this transmission of Amen because Amen is transforming everything in existence now. Everything that's living, Amen is transforming it. So even through this COVID-19 thing, even through all this controversies going on, this is Amen utilizing these beings to transform things, even utilizing myself through Mentellect to transform things that are going on here amongst the elect. Because again, the elect are being raised in this day and time. It's time for the elect to be raised. Obviously, the people that run YouTube don't think MENKARAYZZ is crazy, because if MENKARAYZZ was crazy and out of his mind and bugged out and he just making up stuff, why are they taking the videos down? You got plenty of bugged out people on YouTube, like the young pharaohs, and they're talking all out their head and talking crazy, yet their channels are still up. I wonder why. And they get far more views than MENKARAYZZ, but yet their channels are still up. They eating off their channel. They getting that monetization money. I didn't even ask for no monetization money for my videos. Didn't even ask for it. Don't want the monetization money. Because, they ain't trying to pay me anyway for what I'm talking about. But a young pharaoh or anybody, these niggas that's up here that's spouting off and whatnot and all this other stuff, they saying whatever. Yet their channels are still up. And they got thousands of views. So obviously they're not a threat. They're not a threat. They're not seen as a threat. or getting people to think, not believe, but getting people to actually think, apply logic, is a threat to the people that run YouTube. That's a threat to them. Getting people to think in a governmental system is a threat. You want believers here, not thinkers. Take another call. 303. 303, you on the air. 303. All right, nothing from 303. All right. But that just goes to show, thinking is a threat in this society. To be able to think, to be able to apply logic, to not be emotional or irrational is a threat in this society. It is a threat. The beast does not like people thinking here. He likes y'all believing that y'all black people, that you are spiritual, that you are Christians, that you are Muslims, that you, what all the nonsense they put in there to get you to believe. They want you to keep believing that. They want you to believe you came from Africa and that you black people and y'all was swinging around in trees like monkeys and the white man came over there and got all y'all and brought y'all on the ship. They want to still keep pushing that lie. They want you to believe that. They don't want you to know the reality of the fact that we was already here before they got here, before the Asians got here. So like I said, we had the land taken from us. We already had government set up here before they got here. Built off of the government that was, whatever was left or was remaining, they just built off it. That's where their system of democracy comes from. It comes from us. We had a republic that was based, an early republic that was based on a democratic order for the people. That was already here. We put that here. Going back to the Aztecs, the Olmecs, the Incas, we had something like that here. And the so-called Native Americans picked it up when they came, when the Asians came and mixed their seed in with us. And then, like I said, the white man picked it up from them. But we were still here. We were still here. See, they don't want to deal with that. Our blood goes all the way back to the beginnings of the society, from South America, from Mali to South America, to where our people spread out in all these different places and whatnot. We was in the Middle East, or what they call Africa. We was there. We the ones that came down in Iraq and Iran and all these other places and whatnot, Sumeria and all these places. We came down in those places and whatnot as the Amen Bing, and we spread out. We spread out. And one of the places we spread out to is into the early Americas. And we built the pyramids here in Mexico. We built all of that. That comes from us. It didn't come from no Mexicans, because that's not even a race of people. See, when I say stuff like that, reality, when I drop reality like this, when I ask, well, who were the Mexicans? Where did they come from? Because there's only three types of humans in the human race, and then there's us, which is the Amen race. You got your East Indians, you got your Asians, meaning your Chinese and all them, rest of them, and then you got your damn Caucasians. That's all you got. So where do the Mexicans fit in from that? They gotta be of the East Indians. A lot of these Mexicans gotta be East Indians, which is part of the human race. Where do they come from? You can only fit into that. Ain't no all these other races, subspecies, Mexican and all this other stuff, and whatever else they call themselves. Those are not even a real race of people. And then there's us, which is the Amen race. We're not part of the human race. But see, reality like that, because they know we don't fit in. When I was the first one to say we the Amen race, that bothered a lot of people. Even you so-called dead black people who want to believe you human, you still really of the Amen race, because you're just our clones. You're still part of the Amen race, but y'all just so dead mentally, you might as well be human. See, when you start talking like that, that's a issue. That's not in the playbook of the society in which, they understand, they want you to believe. See, they ain't got a handle on Mentellect. They're trying to get a handle on Mentellect right now. They're trying to they probably don't read the site, and they're trying to figure out, well, what does this guy believe, so that we can get a handle on it, so then we can start trying to debunk it and break it down, or just basically write it off as some kind of influence from Malachi York or the Israelites. What is it that this guy is saying that we could just basically destroy? And we'll send some niggas out here to just basically work for us to try and tear it down as well. Right? Some black devils. But they haven't been able to do it, obviously, because my teaching of Mentellect, coming from where Amen, don't follow no pattern. It don't follow no pattern of Malachi York and what he taught in the Wapu. It don't follow no pattern of what and the Israelites teach. Their stuff follows a pattern. Ours does not. Theirs follows a circular pattern. Ours follows a linear pattern. I'll say we follow a linear pattern. They follow a circular pattern. In other words, I'll teach things in Mentellect that will just keep going forward, and we'll be like, we just keep going. We're not going to keep going in circles about it. We say one thing, that's it, and we keep moving on. Their teachings revolve in a circle. Ours does not. Because Mentellect is continuously going. Our teaching is not limited by or caught up in the books. There'll be constant volumes of books coming out on Mentellect. That's the reality. We'll be right back. The reality of this message is going to continuously come forward. Right? The reality of this message will continuously come forward. This is what it is. Other people don't want to acknowledge it for what it is, but this is what it is. The reality of this message will continue to come forward. And many people don't want that reality to take place, but reality is just something we cannot escape. Our people were set to evolve at a certain point in time, and just because that evolution of thinking, that evolution of thought, see, because with thought, with real thought, with pure thought brings actions. And actions, I'm talking about, things that we no longer will allow ourselves to do, and the things that we will start to do for our evolution. See, this is the problem. People want to hold our hand and stop us from evolving. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care. This has always been the thing, the mindset with the beast. They have always wanted to stop us from evolving, whether it was a Black Wall Street, whether it was a Nation of Islam, Garvey, whatever. They have always wanted us to stop evolving. They don't want us to evolve. They want us to just stay as those black people, those dysfunctional black people who they can continuously feed on mentally, feed on physically, feed on soulfully like they've been doing. You see? Now they feeding on our people again, mentally, so-called black people, because what are they doing? Taking the black woman, the so-called black woman as they own, and basically making the black man the face of homosexuality and all kinds of emasculated images. See, and they don't want nobody to say nothing about this. They want it to just go away, just like let it happen. Let the black woman just decide, and the young black woman decide to be with the white man and all the other races, and the black man just become a homosexual and whatnot. Just be quiet, just fade away, or just go to prison. Just go away, black man, because that's what will make them happy in this new millennial society. The black man is locked up in jail, dead or homosexual, and the black woman is here to be ravaged by white men, Asian men, and anybody else, and that let the gray seed take its course and whatnot. That's what they want. That's what would make them happy. You see, that's what will make them happy. Us being gone. See, because we represent a threat in the fact that we can think. Obviously, they're showing you this through YouTube, that our thinking, our thought process, our logical thought process is not welcome. If I was an Israelite or a Christian and I was saying all the same stuff they were saying, they wouldn't have a problem with that. The 12 tribes and we all the same. See, the Israelites, whether people want to think or not, the Israelites basically, their message is really in alignment with the white man more than you think it is. They claim it's not, but it is. It is. Because they're using the same religious book. They're using it, and then in a lot of cases they'll incorporate the white man into their teaching. They'll say, "Oh, well, if you may not be Esau, if your father's line go back to whoever line, then you a black man, and then you have Israelites who are like white people in this." So again, they basically making room for Caucasians in the future. That's basically what they're saying. That's what that translates into. They claiming they're against the white man, but really they're making room for him in their so-called kingdom. See, that's what that really translates into. And the white people, they okay with it, as long as they could be down some kind of way and whatnot. And then you see all of them, all the whole thing. They want black people really to be, or they want you so-called black people to be embracing everybody within the human race and act as though you're the same as they are. And you Israelites, you believe that y'all human. Y'all believe that y'all all the same as everybody else. You believe that the white man is your brother, that y'all was Esau and Jacob together and all that foolishness. You believe that. And see, this is why you go in alignment with the white man. They're really not against what they're teaching, because again, that just goes to show you that they deep down inside believe that the white man is they people, that they all the same people, that they was created and they of Eve seed and whatnot. See, we teaching something totally different. We saying we the serpent seed and the humans are the Eve seed. This is what we teaching. We teaching that we're not even the same species as the white man or the so-called Asians, the Eastern. They're the human and we're the almond. See, and when me teaching that we are this is why we are seen as the outcast. Again, that makes more sense than the Israelites teaching that y'all come out of a woman called Rebecca and y'all was Esau and Jacob and y'all got the same mother and father. And then they said some stupid nonsense about, how the white man's your bigger brother and he's older than y'all. That sounded really stupid. There's no way white people are older than us. They ain't even going to play, they fix their mouth to say that. And they keep trying to push this whole monkey thing. Everybody come from monkeys, even though the monkeys don't even look like black people and whatnot. They look like just some faces they make it up trying to mesh everybody together, all this foolishness. Again, we debunk all that by asking the simple question, how? How? This don't even make sense logically, but they don't answer the question. So now, when we asking a logical question, they have no logical answer, so therefore it comes off as belief, and no, we don't believe you. We're thinking beyond you. We don't believe you. It makes sense that we are a totally different other species of being from you so-called Caucasians, East Indians, and Asians. That's why you treat us as outcasts. That's why you said we're not part of the human race, because we're not part of the human race. We're part of the almond race, which predates you, which created you, which brought you into life. And see, that reality of who we are, that makes more sense than trying to get us to believe that we came here and we was created on the earth with y'all. BS. Don't even make logical sense. If you thought if we were supposed to be the same, then why are you treating us like we different? How come you've been treating us like we different ever since we came amongst you, or ever since you came amongst us? You've been treating us like outcasts because you know we're not what you are. You know that. A lot of you black people ain't wake up to a lot of you too stupid to still believe you the same as they are. And you Israelites are just as stupid. You believe that too. See, that's why they'll keep you around. Because y'all still want to run off belief. That's why they'll keep all you black metaphysicians, you Muslims, you Israelites, you Christians, you Pan-Africanists, you so-called black power people. They'll keep y'all around on YouTube because y'all are part of the belief system. That's why they'll keep your videos around. They'll keep your channels up because y'all, or you Pan-African niggas, y'all, you Moors. They'll keep y'all around because y'all part of the belief system. You see, you part of the belief system. See, we're not part of the belief system. We part of the thought process, and we're the only ones setting the thought process going forward out here through Mentellect. We're the only ones doing it. That's why you got Israelites coming over here listening to the channel now, Christians, all these people coming from different walks of life coming over here listening to the message because it makes sense. They tired of hearing a whole bunch of belief. They want a bunch of logical things. They want logical explanations. They tired of a whole bunch of beliefs that don't make no sense. And our people have come to that point. And YouTube, ain't going to be able to stop that. And nobody's going to be able to stop our people from thinking. Nobody's going to stop our people. Once that genie done come out the bottle of having our people thinking and whatnot, nobody's going to stop that. Not you black people, not you white people, because again, this represents our evolution. To think is to evolve, man. To think is to evolve, and they don't want us evolving. They don't want us to evolve. They don't want Mentellect not on their goddamn watch. They don't want Mentellect on their stations getting people to think, getting our people to think and become those bright race of beings that I've been talking about. Because they know it's real, because if it wasn't no threat, why are you taking down our channel? Why are you taking down our videos? Why? I don't got a lot of views. Why are you taking it down? But obviously just a little bit of views was enough for YouTube to go, the people at YouTube to go, we can't have this. Obviously just that little bit was enough for them to say, we can't have this. Not now, not here, we can't have this. This is going to cause change. We can't have change. We need these niggas thinking they black still. We need them to think that they African Americans. We need to think that they come from Africa, that they were swinging in trees. We need them to think that they came over here on slave ships. We need them to think that they vote count. We need them to think all the nonsense, the things that we done poured into their head, that a lot of you guys still got channels on YouTube believe. We want them to believe that the coronavirus is real. We want them to believe all that. We want niggas that don't think. That's all. We want niggas that don't think. YouTube want niggas watching who don't think. They want the world star hip hop crowd. That's really what they want. They want millions of niggas who on world star hip hop. They want simple-minded niggas. That's what YouTube want watching YouTube. They don't want nobody who can think. Especially you so-called black people. They don't want you. It's okay for white people to think. It ain't okay for y'all to think. They want simple-minded black people on YouTube. And they want simple-minded content on YouTube. That's why, like I said, you still see up all these other people up here, these silly-ass niggas up here, getting all their YouTube views and whatnot. Because, again, that YouTube catered to simple-minded people. So when somebody tries to find something on YouTube that's dealing with logic, good luck with that. You'll find here and there bits and pieces. You might find some documentaries and things like that. But, you know, basically, for the most part, they don't want any content up there that challenges people's thinking, especially you so-called black people. They don't want nothing there that's going to start getting you to think. They don't want that. They want you to basically sit there and get programmed by whatever garbage they put in front of your face. You see, my content obviously bothers people. Black people ain't supposed to be thinking. So-called black people are not supposed to be thinking. That's a problem to them when black people think. Because then you start debunking all the things they told you about you, that you're black, your skin is black, that you came from Africa, you know, you came over here on slave ships. You know, that's the deprogramming. Thinking starts to deprogram. When you start thinking, you start to get deprogrammed. See? When you start thinking, you start to get deprogrammed. And that's all they've been doing from the time they got you at 6 years old in school 6. From the age 6 years old until you was 18 years old, that's all they've been doing was programming. From the time you started watching damn Sesame Street and all this other stuff, and the electric company, they was programming. You understand that? That's all the school is. And again, we, through Mentellect, is taking apart 12 years of programming. A lifetime, really, of programming, taking apart a lifetime of. But we're going to keep moving on, with or without YouTube. So let me go ahead and answer these questions before we get out of here. What is the reality of Mentellect, and why does YouTube keep removing our Mentellect videos? The reality is simply that we're constantly, you know, giving people things to think about. That's been my only goal since I started teaching, was to give people something not to believe in, but something to think about. You know, I don't want you to believe me. I don't want you to believe me. I never wanted people to believe me, take me at face value. I wanted you to be able to think about what I'm saying to you and see if it logically applies. And if it doesn't, if you can't see the logic in what I'm saying, then ask me and I'll explain to you logically why it makes sense. And that's what gets us to start forming a mental connection with each other, because once we're on the same page mentally, we can build from there. We can grow. And that's always been the problem with black people. They have never been on the same page mentally. We've always been on different pages. That's why we stayed being simple-minded black people, right? Thinking that we black people. Why YouTube removes it? Because the videos got us thinking. Again, they don't want, in this society, in this governmental society, they do not want black people thinking. Mentellect makes you think. Mentellect makes you figure. Mentellect extends your way of thinking, and they don't want that. And especially, and black people don't want it. The mass majority of evil, demonic, two-dimensional niggas, you don't want that. Is it because they're racist? Yeah, it's because they're racist. That's part of it, but they're mental racist with this. This is more mental racism than anything, because they'll put stuff on YouTube as long as it feeds into the stereotype of simple-minded black people and their belief systems and whatnot that they got from the white man, whatnot. As long as it feeds into the belief system of the beast, they don't have no problem with that. Minute they, you know, it's about thinking, then the mental racism comes out. Out there, he started trying to get these niggas to think. We like them believing. Is it because they are anti-American? Is it because we anti-American? No, we're not anti-American. Never have been. Not anti-American. Not pro or anti. I'm not. We like I said, I'm not for going against a place where I live at. I live here, so why would I be anti-American? That don't even make sense. And even you so-called pro-black, so-called Israelite that claim you hate America, you niggas are not anti-American. Stop it. You are not anti-American, because if you was, you would get up and leave somewhere and go someplace else. You're not anti-American because you love the fact that you can live here and get up and go shopping or go buy a hamburger or go to a bar and drink. So mix me with all the anti-American stuff. Is it because I incite violence? No, I don't. I've never incited violence on anybody, or their race, or their sexual, preference. I've never incited any, talking about putting people to death or killing anybody for nothing. Is it because the video? Is it because my Is it because my videos get flagged by ex-members? There were ex-members that start this foolishness. These people got mental issues that are far beyond, YouTube and, But that's it. We'll be back tomorrow night. We're going to end this in the name of Amen, by the power of Amen. And Amen we trust, and Amen we think, and Amen we continue forward forever. I am the intellectual NUBEN MENKARAYZZ. This has been Mentellect Radio. I'll see you guys back here tomorrow night at 10. Amen speed. Good night.
Mentellect, rising out the black race to the bright race, out the black race to the bright race. It's the Republic of Mentellect, black race to the bright race. If it's hell, then it's hell us. They tried everything just to spell us. Fed us religion, gave us fake gods. Through all of that, we beat the odds. Now we coming together under one flag. Colors red, gold and blue. Superman, Superwoman, that's me and you.